Ladies and gentlemen, this is the No CMO Podcast number 6. I'm here with Ryan Sullivan, aka Sully Bob.
Yes, sir.
The host of the podcast. I'm coming in because we've got a new event that we're here to promote. Just confirmed, pretty big at the Ceylon Lounge, and I think it's the Bryant Park Hotel. Kind of nightclub, rooftop bar situation, but we just confirmed that for the 30th. We're gonna have a big TV station, online media company there shooting a documentary. I can't say the name publicly, but safe to say if you're an influencer, there's some kind of marketing person to get your name out there. They're going to be interviewing people, so it's a good opportunity, and we're throwing that out. The real purpose of it is to, try to teach influencers about social growth, have a networking kind of event for people to exchange ideas, and then of course we're going to have a DJ, also a big name, hopefully to be confirmed there. It's going to be kind of like a half party networking event with some instructional stuff as well. So definitely attend. I'll put the info right here, but it's bit.ly/NYC Influencer Party. NYC Influencer Party. The location is...
I'll have the link in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll have the link, but the information is incorrect there. But anyway, we're going to get into some technical stuff with Instagram, but it should be super, super helpful for anybody, businesses included. And I'd actually highly recommend business owners to come as well. Having that personal connection with some of these influencers might be good for your business. It's
great. Influencer marketing, it's mandatory.
Yeah, and so in any case, 100%. That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to show Ryan some social media things in any case before this to kind of help us with the marketing of the podcast, but I thought it might be a good idea to just do a podcast, just us, and kind of
disseminate the information,
get into some basics. Essentially, there's two things I really want to go into. Number one, and if you attended the last event in May, you would have gotten the basics of this, but we want to really get into how companies screen influencers. We'll also get into the company side of it. So if you are a company, you know what to use, and you know how to find it. Then on the other side, I'm going to show you how companies discover influencers, particularly in the case of how we're promoting this event, or how we're finding influencers to promote this event. The two tools we're going to get into is Hype Auditor and Heapsy. Neither of them we have a relationship with. They're just good tools, yeah, and they're not even super popular, but among hardcore marketing people, this is really
they work
the stuff. Yeah. So to get into, we're just going to go right into it. I'm using Summer Rae because she's a kind of pretty big example in terms of influencer marketing out there. Obviously, fashion space, very traditional type influencer, former client of a friend of ours. Hype Auditors is a tool that we use to scan Instagram and YouTube influencers. Those are the two channels it supports. It's one of the most complete ones, and they have a number of proprietary data sources to get their information, as well as bots. It does cost $30 per usage, but it's well worth it if you're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on somebody,
100%.
Especially a big person like her. Another thing, if you are an influencer and you're looking at this, it's a good way to determine what you're going to market, because you're eventually marketing yourself and selling yourself to these companies, and you have the knowledge that marketers like me, the agencies that work with us, this is what we're going to be evaluating based off of. It's kind of a scorecard.
So it makes sense as an influencer to be on here 100% as well.
Correct.
On both sides of the equation.
Correct. And in the future, now this could be 5 years, 10 years, etc., a lot of this is going to be automated. A lot of it is going to be calculated. Right now, I'm looking at this as a marketing person. I know what these statistics mean, and they have some tooltips on here. But in the future, the companies are not even going to have to look at this. They're going to have an algorithm calculate the return they can get.
That's basically just going to do it.
Yeah, like other advertising channels with ads where you don't need to consult anybody. But anyway, so we'll get into it. So,
Sweet.
Looking at the top, you've got some ranked things. Obviously, she's huge.
Yep.
The two big numbers you want to be paying attention to here are the engagement rate and the authentic engagement and the quality audience. Many social media people will know the engagement rate tends to vary from 2 to 5 in a standard distribution, with some people up at 10%, generally the smaller ones. As you get larger, you have crappier engagement. That's not because larger people tend to have fake followers. Yeah. Actually, large people tend to have a less percentage of fake followers, given that they're monitored more closely. But it's just statistics.
So is Instagram, as an aside, is Instagram monitoring those fake? Is Instagram monitoring them more closally and pulling those followers out? Okay.
They remove accounts. So there's just the statistical probability that if you have a large amount of followers, they probably wouldn't have come from a fake source, because you can't buy tens of millions of fake followers because they remove the accounts. The fake farm sites would have to create those accounts in a period of time.
Gotcha.
Which they wouldn't be able to do. The reason why the engagement rate is lower, for example, this is a lower rate than some of our marketers who have 5,000, 10,000 followers. It's a lower rate than, friends of mine that I've had. My ex-girlfriend. I don't know why I mentioned that, but it's just an example. Smaller followings, you tend to have a higher engagement rate if you're legit.
Now, what counts? Does a like count? Does a comment count? What is the criteria?
Likes and comments.
Likes and comments.
Okay. It's the combination of the two, and we'll see that we can see the comments too, which is obviously much more important.
Sweet, yeah.
But yeah, that companies are looking at that authentic engagement per post, and they're basically counting that as impressions. So if you're looking at, and if for the companies out there, I would tell you this as well. If you're looking at an advertising network, like let's say Google Ads, and you see I can get 500,000 in reach to sell my, blue chews, etc., whatever, or on the subway, this would be the number you would look at, is authentic engagement. Everybody else is not really seeing it. If they're not liking it, if they're just scrolling over it, this is human behavior, it's perception, it's been studied. I studied in college at a really scientific level, but people scan over this stuff and your brain is not really registering it the same way you register, for example, a sign on the subway.
You're going to read,
Yeah. You're
reading it rather than just looking at it.
Right.
Letting it pass you
or
by.
even, just perceiving it. If you're on a subway, there's maybe 3 posters that you look at in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
When you're on Instagram, you're looking at potentially hundreds in seconds.
And you can't discount the engagement rate for female versus male as well on each side of that, because whether it's an audio or a video, but guys
we'll get into that too. But and that's the gender thing in any visual kind of medium is a very important thing. Instagram's obviously very visual.
To make,
so we'll get into the gender stuff as well. So she's obviously very, very good. She makes millions of dollars. Now, people don't know this, but you can actually pull this information. You don't have to go do your own arithmetic. These tools do it, and there's going to be more tools like Hype Auditor. But yeah, you can basically assess how many mass followers, suspicious accounts are essentially mass followers, but you can't really confirm that they are.
What's the difference between real people and mass followers?
For example, my dad has an Instagram account. Okay, he's in his 60s, I believe. He has 5 pictures on his Instagram and maybe 2 followers. That's a suspicious account because
he's not posting.
Right. It could be. Now, at the very least, it's not an account that's reading stuff and purchasing stuff. Mass followers are much more obvious because you see the same pictures being used again. Reverse image search it. That's how that kind of stuff can be estimated. And I believe, I'm not sure exactly how Hype Auditor does it, but I believe they randomly sample the followers. Obviously, followers are public information on Twitter and Instagram, so you can go look at it and basically sample it. You could also scrape it. And that's a whole different story. Going into the countries, that's the biggest obvious thing. Although now, location is obviously public information, but now people are able to create fake followers in the U.S. and there's all different technical ways where you can create fake followers. So that country information is only relevant if this information indicates that there's a big quality audience. But again, at the end of the day, there's going to be fake followers with any account. If I want to prank a friend, I could go buy fake followers. So, and they wouldn't be able to remove them. That being said, they're not really... We'll release some kind of report on this afterwards, and it'll definitely be in the presentation on the 30th. Yep. But there's some kind of... You're basically multiplying these two numbers. I don't really care if there's 30% followers. If I'm gonna give you a bid for a project, for a post, I'm looking at how many people are in markets I care about, whether it's age, country, ethnicity,
so you're not
language.
worrying about the ones that you don't need, basically.
Correct. So I just cut that out in the number, but I don't really care if there's 10% fake followers because it doesn't factor in. As long as you're not charging me for them, it's a negotiation process in any case. And, that's why people have talent agencies or people, marketers like us working for them. We advocate on behalf of the companies, we'll advocate on behalf of the influencers, and we'll make a case for these stats. That's not to say any companies out there who are working with influencers are not generally doing as much due diligence as I do.
Yeah.
Because they don't know as much about it. But as people become more educated and the market becomes more competitive, naturally the weapons are going to increase. One other thing that plays into this is Instagram's own changes in terms of how they present information. Having a lot of followers is no longer enough to be seen by a lot of people because there's other factors in play. For example, this is a huge thing for social growth. Let's say 20 people follow you.
Yep.
Those 20 people follow 1,000 people. Let's say 20 people follow you, and those people follow 20 people. Big difference in terms of the quality.
And the reach.
Yeah, the people who follow tons of people won't see you. The people who follow a few people will see you much more often, just by nature of their time and how Instagram. Now that you're, technically speaking, if you have a big audience, your Instagram judges you as extremely relevant to the people. Out of the 1,000 or 2,000 people you follow, there's a chance you might be featured frequently, especially in stories where it's based on your friends and stuff like that, people you message.
So that's getting into the algorithm.
Yeah, or you engage with.
Yeah.
But
and the stories are different hierarchy than
stories
than
are way
posts.
different. Yeah, well, we may get into that too, but it's a different purpose.
Yep.
But yeah, you make a good point there, and yeah, so there's no tool to my knowledge that. And we're obviously big on tools, but there's no tool to my knowledge that calculates those numbers for the social account. There is an app on the phone that Chubb was showing you yesterday called Reports.
Oh yeah, I use it.
Reports Plus.
Yep.
It shows you some. I don't believe they may have another app
on the free version. It's enough to get started, at least to understand a little bit more about.
Yeah. My question
happening.
is if there should be some quality followers metric that tells you how many of your followers follow 1 million other people.
Yeah.
To try to estimate, and
so
it's a good idea. I may raise some money for it.
So you basically want followers that don't follow a ton of people, right? Or
not necessarily, because those people don't have a lot of followers and they can't share.
So it's like a catch-22 basically.
If you could have all this information, I don't know how much of this information you can get from your followers, but you'd multiply times how many people they follow, which is bad. You put that on the denominator, right?
Yep.
Then you put on the top how many followers they have.
I see. So you want that to be
ideally you want an influencer who has 0 followers, but the reality is most of the mid-market influencers, and that's not a real term, I'm just applying different terminology to that.
What that would be like?
They follow a lot of people.
So it would be what, like 500,000 followers, or like what would you consider?
No, like 10 to 15.
10 to 15. Yeah.
But
usually they follow.
Or actually, I would say those are small influencers. 10 to 100 is small, 100 to 500 is mid-market.
Okay, yeah, that's
1
what
to
I
10
figured.
is like micro. But the terminology is totally accurate. But
sure.
So that's that right there. Reachability. Okay.
Yep.
So apparently, I don't know. I haven't been able to calculate this for other people's accounts. Apparently, Hype Auditor is able to do it. If they're able to do it, then we should be able to do it. And we may develop a product that's able to do that for your own account at a low price. But like I said, Hype Auditor allows you to do one account free. So, nonetheless. But yeah, so, boom. So, there it is.
There's the data
90%
right
under
there,
1,500. Yeah. Really, really good. Thing. I'm gonna make a note. We'll send out.
So
some
it's basic.
Yeah,
thing. I mean, it's basically common sense. Is if they follow less people, they're going to see your post more.
Yeah.
Oh, so then they have their own metrics of like what is good, what is bad, could be improved. I see.
Yeah, like I said, some people use this for their own accounts, but the point there is, it's saying similar accounts have 72% authenticity. They're judging similar accounts by like the category of the influencer.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it the similar somebody with similar content and similar followers,
content,
or
like, are you doing videos? Are you doing hashtags?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know too much about this, but they're like image scanning tools that are able to tell like what kind of content your photos are. Are they fashion? Are they business? Memes? Whatever. So
like the category.
I'm sure they have something like that there, but basically what they're saying is the average is 72% for other accounts.
Yep.
So generally speaking, her authenticity is a little lower, but that's just because she's way bigger. She's the top 10 Instagram accounts. But yeah, you can see the male-female ratios there, which are to be expected. I mean, most of her pictures are of her body, and it's mostly young men. So.
Yeah, and that's all their ethnicity, language as well.
I mean, this could be interesting, but that's just the percentages of people in the actual population.
Oh, okay, I see.
Of the U.S.
And you got the follower graphs as well.
Yeah, this is really big for people who are investing in influencers. Whether it's let's say I want to work with an influencer, I want to hire an influencer as a talent agency. I want to see these trending up, and I want to see the follower. If the following is trending up with the followers, especially if they're a new influencer if they're a micro influencer, with her it doesn't really matter because this is probably just due diligence. It's a tiny little percentage, but if this was comparatively a higher percentage, let's say she only had 10,000 followers, this would be bad because it means her content is getting diluted. But with her,
if it's like mass stagnation across or decline,
what I'm saying is all of the Instagram automation, organic growth bots out there, what they do is follow other accounts and comment on other accounts automatically. So if you're seeing something that's the same, then it's fake. Yep. They're not actually getting organic growth. You want to see that people are actually liking their stuff and
consistently.
The algorithm is favoring them. So boom. So that's and it says that correctly. So you don't even need to look at it. It says no incentivized following.
Yeah, it translates it for you right there. Yeah.
The category, I would never really pay attention to that because I don't think there are algorithms for detecting this, but I would just do a taste test if I was a company. Obviously, if somebody is doing beauty or fashion.
Yeah.
You can just scan the page pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that's the same scan the audience is doing when they follow the account. But yeah, so I mean, there's a different distribution for the engagement, right? Really, how they should calculate it is per range of how many followers they have, which I don't know if they do. I think they do that, plus the niche. So now the like spread, that doesn't really matter, given that people's followings could change over time. They could not post.
Or they can just like somebody's picture for years and never even leave a comment.
For a small account, that's big, though.
Yeah.
Because, for example, really what this indicates is you can buy likes on your auto likes on your account.
Yep.
So if the likes are the same on every post, you've bought auto likes. Even if your following is organic, these likes are not coming from your followers.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty easy to see with people, but maybe, I mean, obviously this helps, but could be another thing where you kind of like can just see it.
The likes comments ratio only comes in when it's a big influencer.
Large following.
Yeah, if it's a small influencer, really you just want to read the comments and likes to see if they're fake.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say, you can basically just look at it.
But if you're trying to work with somebody to promote like a brand, like let's say it's a nonprofit, or let's say it's a health or fitness product, you want to look at the comments for other past sponsorships they've done, and the comments should be about the product or whatever she's advertising,
rather than
not her ass. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a good indicator. Obviously, once you get to this size, it doesn't matter. But if you're looking at somebody with 10 or 15 thousand followers, you want the comments to be relevant and not just related to that influencer.
Gotcha. So advertiser performance is basically a metric of that, of advertising. Right?
Well, when you do a brand shout out on Instagram or a brand post, it has to be tagged as an advertisement, even if you're not advertising. Like using an Instagram
so even if
ad.
you're not affiliated, you're saying? Or even if
no, if you are affiliated.
If you are
But
affiliated.
if they're paying you to do something, you must disclose it.
Oh, yeah, it's like legal.
Yeah.
And legally you have to, right?
That's how they're able to tell.
Because that's deception.
Yeah. Or they detect it. I'm not sure how it is, but
what's a normal post frequency? What, every day? Once a day?
Posts every day. Ad posts, I don't think there's really a normal thing. It really depends on what you are.
Well, it's kind of like to your liking, or who you're collaborating with.
We work with some athletes, some of the UFC type guys. They're in a space that is very ripe for advertising because people who follow them want supplements and stuff.
And they trust them.
So yeah, and they trust them.
And they want to know what they're using, right? Yeah.
Performance based. So they post ads all the time, every day for some guys.
And it gets to the point where you respect somebody so much that you don't care if it's an ad anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good spot to be in.
Now we're not going to get into YouTube because we don't really do YouTube that much. YouTube as a platform to say is the sponsorships are on long-form content, so on podcasts, that's where stuff is sponsored. Not most of the revenue, but the revenue is focused on advertising, whereas on Instagram, I have 1 million followers. Instagram is not paying me money for 1 million followers. Yeah. Because you're not advertising on your page, your content. You're just advertising it in the feed. Mm-hmm. On YouTube, you're advertising on specific channels and videos as an advertiser,
and using their trusted advertisers as well. Could be if you're partnered.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why you get paid through AdSense.
Yep.
So it's a different economy than Instagram is.
So you have to take that into account when you're.
Yeah. I mean that's just why we don't focus on it, because it's largely
it's
focused
more
on
control, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what the correct term is, but it's it's a cost per mile type compensation system versus
it's basically ingrained advertisements.
Yeah, it's ingrained. It's part of the platform. Whereas you're getting paid by external parties on Instagram.
And then if you have, if you're advertising on a podcast, it's kind of hard to tell where the conversion is. You know,
you give a code.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So, code for Hype Auditor is if they respond to us, it'll be there.
Gotcha.
Literally. I'll email them after this.
You got to actually you got to explain it, and you got to be putting in the work at the same time.
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to do, as discussed, is show you how we look for influencers. So, there's a company called Social Throne, which is a automation company. They're sponsoring the event on the 30th.
Right.
And the two owners of the company are an actor, Phil Duckton, and then Yvonne Jenkins, who's former Miss Australia. She's an influencer, a marketer. But they're reaching out to influencers for us to try to get the event promoted.
Awesome.
They'll be on the pod. We'll do podcasts with them before the event next week.
Yeah, we're scheduling that
in person.
Yep.
So this is how. So for example, Keepsy is one of many influencer discovery sites. It's one of the more affordable ones if you're a startup. But to be honest, if you're an influencer, you can use these tools too. You're just a business, and your business is the page. So you can. I was talking to somebody the other month and telling her basically to look at it this way, but you should very much approach other influencers, larger influencers, do content for them, make designs for them, do stuff for them in exchange for them shouting you out or tagging you. Just make
why
create a
not?
relationship.
Basically, it's all about those connections.
So, for example, for this case with the event, we can look at locations because people have the locations in their profile, obviously. So we want people in the city. This doesn't have every single influencer, but it has, and these aren't opt-in people either. Like, I don't know. Let's see if I'm on here. That'll answer the question.
Yeah, if it's opt-in or not. Rebranded, by the way.
Let's go. So I have on here. So it's not opt-in.
So there must be something that they're...
Yeah, and they didn't update it because I changed the handle, so it must be like something they do periodically, but...
Algorithm.
They must scrape it, yeah. But anyway, so the point is you can search for influencers on specific channels with specific categories. This is like Hype Auditor, but they have all the information for you to search. So looking at 5,000 people in the arts, or let's go along with this event thing, so we'll say nightlife. Entrepreneur, that works better.
Yeah, even better.
Now, I haven't edited my profile in a while, but I believe there's a way, like, you can categorize your own profile.
Oh, in a certain
That's the type
demographic,
of
certain category.
Like, so I'm categorized as entrepreneur, but nonetheless, obviously set a follower count. So we were going after smaller people because we thought that we have a better chance of getting in touch with them and then
answering a message. Yep.
For this thing where you're not paying for it, we just go above a certain amount. Then there's other filters when you. This is like one of our several accounts. So I don't know if we have all the features, but you can see if they have other.
See if they have linked accounts.
Yeah, other channels, which is the thing. If your company, advertises through Twitter, if you get customers through Twitter, you want to check and see if these influencers have accounts on those platforms. Their post frequency really doesn't matter. I can't see you. Maybe you might have a minimum there, but there's no reason why you'd have a percentage. Branded, you'd want to go high if you're looking for influencers because you want people who are open to brand partnerships.
Yeah, if they're not doing any at all, why would they?
Or you might go low because that might mean
or you want to be the first one.
And you could bid low.
Depends what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Or who you're trying to approach.
Post cost estimate isn't based on anything but the percentage of branding posts and whether they how big their audience is. So I found it to be reasonably accurate. And then obviously you always want to hide business accounts, and you want to make sure they have email so you can contact them. So,
yeah, I was going to say that was my next question, was contact by email.
Yeah, my main point of pointing this out, again, Heapsy, we're more educated than the average person. Most companies work with talent agencies. They're not looking and reaching out to influencers on their own, or they're using products. Another guy we're trying to get on the podcast has a product called Incense.pro. They're a startup. They've raised some money. But they also have opt-in. They're opt-in platforms for influencers or their agencies.
So there's a benefit to that, too.
Right. Most people don't use these. These are relatively new. But my point is, this is how you do it on both ends, vetting them individually and searching for them. This is a little preview of what's to come. People don't really do as much vetting for small people as we're doing. They trust someone like us.
I was going to say they trust an agency to, yeah.
Exactly. But my point is, you can use these tools to your advantage as an influencer or a company to increase your yield and help your growth, because ultimately these are the tools that the agencies are going to look at to try to determine your value. And I'm talking both about talent agencies and marketing agencies.
So you might as well do that too. Be able to. Yeah.
So
it's right here for you to use, right?
Nice. Yeah. So the sun is setting.
It's true.
We
a lot of information going on.
A lot of information. It's been very romantic.
Oh yeah, I mean, golden hour, baby. That's it. But another successful podcast episode, and a lot of more. This one's more in depth, which is definitely going to be beneficial to people. To actually see part of your process of how you're doing this, how you're going through the metrics, and doing it yourself to actually realize the potential of these influencers, of somebody that you can collaborate with your brand.
And it's a preview of what the event's.
And this isn't. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is just the small form. Awesome.
Cool.
So that's a pod, baby.
That's it.
All right, so this has been episode 6.
Episode 6.
Of the No CMO Podcast. There you go, demonstrating that you don't need a CMO. You can do this yourself.
Register for the event at...
Is it
bit.ly/influencerparty.nyc.
There you go. I'll throw it up on the screen. Show notes. I'm going to add also a 2-minute video explaining everything about the party after this. So just keep watching, and I'm going to have it right now. So
perfect.
That's it, guys.
All right, sounds
Enjoy.
Good.
Hey guys, it's Ryan again. I just want to let you know of a very important event that's being hosted by You Don't Need a CMO this month. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right here so you can get a visual. The link will also be in the show notes. So this is called Social Growth 101, Everything You Wanted to Know. It's happening July 30th, 2019 from 6 to 9 p.m., 30 West 44th Street, New York City, New York. A little bit about the event. If you're thinking about turning your blog, YouTube channel, or any other social platform into more than just a small side hustle, this event is for you. We'll give you the best strategies in 2019 to grow a massive following on Instagram. This is for influencers who already have a following as well. It's for both. And if you already have a following of over 25,000, your ticket will include introductions to 10 key influencers and celebrities, as well as 5 different brands. So we're going to cover how the Instagram algorithm works, paradox of advertising and why you must spend money to make money, the importance of off-site links in building your profile, and the basics of Instagram analytics, how to evaluate your results without an agency. So once again, folks, this is Social Growth 101, happening July 30th. Be there. The registration fee is $85, but it includes an open bar. This is an event you do not want to miss, guys. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.